Cranberry juice spread across silk like fire, and I didn't flinch. My niece laughed. My mother clapped. My sister's eyes glimmered with that awful pride that never belonged to anyone but her. Everyone thought I'd melt, that I'd apologize, cry, fume. They had no idea that beneath the calm, I was already plotting. I remember the first time I trusted her, my sister. We were inseparable once. She was clever, charming, the kind of person who made your victories feel like hers. I adored her, confided in her. She smiled at my dreams, toasted my accomplishments. I thought loyalty was a shared bloodline. Then came subtle things. Late calls she shrugged off. Emails marked urgent, unopened by me. Little lies, the kind that gnawed at the edges of sanity. The final proof hit me like ice. A forwarded message, hidden in plain sight, revealing her scheming. Our family fortune, my career contacts, my reputation, all leveraged for her amusement. She hadn't just betrayed me, she'd weaponized intimacy. I felt the heartbreak. But more than heartbreak, I felt clarity. Anger flared briefly, but I buried it under a layer of composure. I didn't raise my voice, I didn't show my shock. I couldn't. The moment I lost control, she would win. And I don't lose. I began watching. Subtlety became my ally. I traced every call, every text, every transaction. I mirrored her moves, predicting her missteps like a chess master 3 turns ahead. I documented, recorded, collected, evidence wrapped in precision. I waited for the perfect opening. Tonight. My dress, my family, the party, it was all part of the setup. The spilled juice, the sneer of my niece, the applause of my mother, the smug pride in my sister's gaze, they were distractions. They didn't know that with every laugh, every clap, I was executing a plan years in the making. I'd started quietly, planting doubts in the right ears, forwarding minor hints to lawyers and financial advisors disguised as casual concern. My sister prided herself on appearances. I knew her ego would lead her to make the first error, and she did. By the time I approached her, she was fragile under the weight of her own unraveling. I didn't yell, I didn't accuse. I smiled, slow, measured. Funny, I said, letting the silence stretch like a drawn blade. How appearances can be deceiving. Her face paled, the realization creeping in. She knew I knew. She knew everything. The payoff wasn't immediate. It was a series of small collapses, each meticulously orchestrated. Her most influential clients received anonymous reports of her manipulations. Legal advisors revisited her recent contracts. Social whispers, carefully crafted, eroded her alliances. I watched as her empire, built on charm and deceit, crumbled brick by brick. And I stood back, invisible, untouchable, savoring the precision of each downfall. I relished the moment she finally cornered herself, trying to salvage her dignity at my expense. I watched her lips tremble, her hands shake. For the first time, she understood what betrayal truly feels like. Not the thrill of taking, but the agony of exposure. And I didn't need to touch her life directly. I only needed patience and foresight. As the last domino fell, I breathed. The room cleared, my family oblivious to the storm I'd controlled. My dress, ruined but irrelevant, felt lighter than it should. I smiled at my reflection in a crystal glass, the spilled juice long absorbed into fabric, symbolic of my past vulnerability. I had been patient, I had been smart, and now I was free. The best revenge isn't anger, it's inevitability. Watching someone who thought they controlled your life crumble under their own arrogance is a quiet, unmatched triumph. I didn't scream, I didn't confront, I executed. I waited, and I won. On my 34th birthday, draped in ruined silk and silent power, I realized something profound. I wasn't just surviving betrayal, I was mastering it. And in that mastery, I found liberation. They didn't see the turn of events, the endgame, the collapse, but I did, and that was enough. I left the room with grace, the echo of laughter still bouncing off the walls, knowing the night had changed everything. They had mocked me, celebrated me, underestimated me, and by sunrise, nothing would remain of her schemes. Nothing. Justice, precise, patient, absolute, and finally mine.